parenting is one of those really, 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 really huge roles in life. And in general, it's one of those really huge tasks as well. Like you can't, if you're in it, you're in it. There's no escaping it. There's no backrouting. There's no sidestepping. Nah, you're a parent, you're a parent. And I feel like a lot of people tend to be worried about getting children to begin with because you're not sure what happens if your partner is no longer there. What happens? And a lot of people have that notion of, you know, you stayed for the children. I still never understood that one, but it's one of those conversations which is very difficult because people dread single parenthood. People dread just being the sole parent to a child, which I don't understand because it's your child. But here are some of the things. Unfortunately, if you are in the situation where there's nothing wrong with single parenting. Let me just say it. There's nothing wrong with single parenting. You are still a parent to your child, and your child appreciates it that way. It's better to be a single parent than to be in a toxic relationship and show this child what love is the wrong way. Like, you know what I mean?
Let me answer your question. People dread single parenthood, not because they don't love their children, but because parenting is already isolating and taxing and hard and difficult. Yes, there are moments of joy and fulfillment, but it's still very difficult as a 2-household or 3-household parent situation. But now imagine carrying the brunt of parenthood alone. You know, you're the mother, you're the father. Even if you're alternating weeks and you're co-parenting, there's still that aspect of you're a single parent. It is lonely. There's, you know, sometimes when your child does something dumb and you're angry, and then you and your husband go and have pillow talk and laugh about it. Now imagine you don't have anyone to do that with. You're disappointed, you're angry, you go and cry alone. You know, like you need a support system. That's why you need another partner. And that's why we always say, nobody sets out to be a single parent. Everybody has this vision of a family, a partner, a supportive partner, not just a partner who just lays around over there making children, contributing sperms only. A supportive partner. That's what people are looking for, you know, a good unit. So yeah, that's the fear of being a single parent. Will I be able to do everything?
Yeah, and I completely get it, but my perspective was, please don't try and justify being in a problematic relationship with the notion that I don't want to be a single parent because it is isolating, it is lonesome, and the many other beautiful reasons why Turi gave, which are all true, And she spoke about something very particular, which is support. I feel like a lot of people only have one form of support, which is your partner. However, I think diversifying the support is very important. When they say it takes a village, it really should take a village. Like, I am talking your neighbors, I am talking your family and friends, especially your family and friends, because you can't just leave your children to strangers all the time. People, you don't know people, yeah? So I think it's very important to create societies. And I think I see this happening a lot more now, where you have like a community of like parents coming together and having like a support group, because it can be very, very hard. The same way you have a gym community, the same way you have a church community, I feel like there should be a single parent community where you can easily just be able to try and, I don't know, get your weekend in by like having a rotation system where we'll have the kids with you this weekend, and then you'll have the kids with the other person this weekend. I don't know, just so every parent can be able to get like a weekend off where they just like do what they need to do, decompress, USA for a second. Yes, it is scary to leave your children with strangers, as I said, but if you build a community of trust and I don't know, people with mutual understandings, I think it can be very helpful to have support, because not everyone has a parent and not all parents are available to do the babysitting duties. So seeking support in the form of community, I think, is very, very vital in the early days, especially.
And also understanding that it will take time to acclimate to this new. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a new situation. And the loss of a partner, or the separation from a partner, can be the same thing as grief. You're grieving your relationship, the potential of your relationship, why it died, why you stayed so long. So there's so many emotions involved. And just think about it as matanga at this point. Think about it as I am mourning the loss of my marriage, I'm mourning the loss of my relationship, I am mourning what my family could have been, and allow yourself time to adjust. And not just for you, even your children, the children involved. How are they adjusting? Did you have to move houses? How are they adjusting with the new neighbors? Did they have to move schools? Did you move the country? Because sometimes somebody gives you character development, you're like, you will never see me again. And you get on a jet because you're a boss babe with money, and you fly to a different, a distant island. If that's the case, how is everyone adjusting to the new normal? So yeah, it takes time.
Yeah, and I feel like you added in there that step by step. For example, if you are moving houses, please try and make sure that you are, I don't know, taking it a day at a time. Don't move everything and do everything in one day. It's impossible to do that. At the same time, I think it's very vital for you to focus on what you can control. You cannot control the emotions of the children. You cannot control your own emotions. At this point in time, it's very raw. However, you can't control things like, what did the kids used to do? They used to wake up in the morning at 6 a.m., get picked up by the school bus after you've gotten them ready, go about their day in school, you go about your day at work, everyone comes back home. Did you used to have dinner together? Try and keep those routines that you used to have on board. Try and incorporate as much of the new normal as you possibly can by taking time and spending time with your children. If you have any, single parenting, taking care of your children, so that, and taking time to just like have conversations with them. Try the Phil way and Kate Actress way of trying to see a family therapist as well. I don't know, just try and control what you can, because there's so much stuff that is still very, very raw that you cannot put in a box. And when you try and put it in a box, unfortunately at some point this box is going to rip open and it will be fresh hell. So try and control what you can.
And anytime I'm overwhelmed, I usually just think of that phrase, if I can't fix it right now, if I can't control it, I will not think about it. I will not stress over it. So if I can't fix it or control whatever is happening in 24 hours or 5 hours or in the immediate time, I refuse. I will not die. I will not suffer. I will not catch high blood pressure. You can't get me. So that's just the attitude you have to have going forth. Don't stress over the small things. But also the most difficult thing to do is be kind to yourself. There's nothing anyone could abuse me that I have not abused myself. There's no harsh or negative thing that you could tell me that I've not told myself first. Sometimes you even have to catch yourself in the mirror. You look at yourself and you're like, look at you looking like a potato. You're like, I just woke up. I've not put on makeup. Why am I calling myself a potato? So being kind to yourself and giving yourself a grace is the most difficult thing to do, because we are so, we're so keen on what our mistakes are. We never give ourselves grace. We never think of ourselves as human beings. We're always quick to say, Upper Faith, nah, that was horrible. You're a terrible human being. You're lazy. You're this and this and this and this and this. But did you just stop to think that I am a human being going through a human emotion in a human environment? So can I just breathe? So be kind to yourself, as difficult as it may be.
Yeah, I know people say things like, I am having a human experience, and you're like, that sounds very Caucasian, but you are truly having a human experience. And unfortunately, we are so quick to point out the negatives. We're so quick to call ourselves out that we barely ever have time, as Turi has said, to mention the positive. And I think that is something very, very vital. Pulling out your strengths, like draw from your strengths. For example, you may not be the earliest bird to get your children up and ready to go to work. Maybe that was your partner. They were very good at that. But you are so good at organizing their day. You are so good at picking up their lunches. You're so good at coordinating with their teachers and their pickups and whatever. I feel like everyone has a strength. Everyone has their strengths. You may not necessarily be the best at keeping up with like going to church every Sunday, but you are good with making sure that your children are fed. That's a plus for me. If you ask me, children being fed. A
win is a win.
You forget to feed your children because you forgot to eat yourself. Do you know what I mean? If you're not necessarily the strongest at, you know, setting these unrealistic expectations of, you know, by the end of the year, we're going to be able to now go on our first vacation as a single family household, but necessarily thinking about the finances, you're like, ooh, child, that may not be possible. But you can be able to do like a cute staycation with your children, you know, just do something small indoors, have a movie night, you know, put out your laptop if that's the only thing you have, and watch something child-friendly. I feel like draw to your strengths, like just draw into your strengths and play those as hard as you possibly can, and forget all the stuff that you can't handle, because there's a lot, but you have some strengths.
And also a very petty one as we are going home, resist the urge to do things for the haters. It's such an overwhelming urge to say maadui watajua nini, walisema nitateseka nikikuacha. Look at me now. Can you resist the urge to show up and show off in front of everyone when that's not your reality? Don't try to act like you're happy when you're not.